Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. I stood still. In front of the old red wooden gate. It was still the same as the first time I saw it. Except that now I was no longer the one who entered out of curiosity, but the one who turned back to face it. At exactly 1 a.m., the gate opened. A slow creaking sound echoed through the empty alley. A faint red light emitted from inside, inviting and challenging. I took a deep breath and stepped in. The space inside was no longer strange. It was a night market that only opened at 1 a.m. Still with the strange stalls, hanging lanterns, eyeless sellers, faceless customers. Everything seemed to be happening again from the beginning. But this time, I clearly felt every detail. No longer confused, but alert, every step. Every sound of the wind reminded me of something familiar. I passed by the mask stall of the hunchbacked old woman. This time, she didn't look at me. She just sat still like a stone statue, but the silver mask on the table glowed lightly. I bent down and saw my name engraved on the back of the mask. I remembered that this was the item I had touched. When I was a child, the first time I went to that market, the first touch opened the door that connected me to this place. Continued to go deeper and saw familiar stalls. The man selling broken mirrors, the young girl selling clocks that flowed backwards, and the boy with deep black eyes looking at me as if he wanted to say something. I asked him if he remembered me. He nodded and pointed to the end of the market where there was a stall covered with black curtains. I had never seen that stall before. Walked forward and pushed the curtains open. Inside was a small space surrounded by charcoal drawings, all of which were pictures of me as a child standing in different positions in the market. From the mask stall to the charm stall, I looked up at the center of the room. There was a map of the market hanging, but there were more branches than the previous times I went. This time it was a complete maze. In the middle of the map was a dark red circle with small words underneath where memories are exchanged. I sat down on the only chair in the stall. On the table there was a wooden box when I opened it, and inside was an old negative film and a small projector. I turned it on, and the image that appeared on the wall was a lost memory. Saw myself as a child holding my mother's hand walking into the market. I was smiling, and my mother kept looking around with fear. I saw the old hunchback saying something to my mother and then giving me the mask. As soon as I picked it up, my mother hugged me and whispered in my ear, "Must not forget this place, because it will come back." I turned to my mother, but her face was blurry at that moment. I saw myself running, lost in the market, and falling into a dark area, and then everything disappeared. Was shocked to find out that I had lost my mother in the night market that only opened at 1 a.m., and that was when my memory was erased. The bell rang in the distance, like a siren reminding me that it was time to end. I took the film roll and put it in my pocket and left the stall outside the market. It was darker, the fog was thicker, I felt. Each step became heavier. I knew if I didn't leave now, I would be swallowed. I ran towards the gate, but the gate had disappeared instead. There was a large mirror standing in the middle of the road. In the mirror was me, but it was no longer the current me, but the 5 or 7-year-old me with lifeless eyes, holding a mask. I reached out to touch the mirror and felt myself being sucked into the dark space. Everything was spinning when I opened my eyes. I found myself sitting in the middle of an empty room with nothing but an old camera on the table. And the table, I turned on the camera and saw that there was only one photo left. The one I took in the mirror with empty eyes. Watch episode 10 to find out where Alex really is, and whether he can find a way to completely cut off the connection with the night. Market that only opens at 1 a.m.